It's just after turn 350, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that have taken place since the last video. So let's check on Western Europe first, because I don't think there's going to be all that many changes, because the borders have pretty much been set. I don't know why I said that so weird. The borders have pretty much been set for the last, like, I don't know, 150 turns for the most part. I mean, everything is going to stay about the same. Looks like France still hasn't gone to war with England just yet. I don't think that Catherine's ever going to get the courage to do so, because they have just archers at this point, so that will probably not go so well. Yeah, probably not go so well. So Spain still hasn't settled. They haven't settled for a while, and I'm not sure if they have enough space to settle. That could be one of the issues. Rome did end up cutting off, though, Egypt from the western and eastern sides of their empire. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal, because we've already seen that Trajan doesn't really like Cleopatra. That is definitely something that has been going on. She also did get pillaged pretty badly, not too badly. I don't know how much she was able to recover, but there was a lot of pillaging. There was a little bit of pillaging that was going on in the last video. She's okay. It's still a pretty nicely populated city, though. I'll give her that. The Congo, who I'm slowly thinking is going to continue to be my number one. Wow, these Chinese pilgrimage, the Chinese pilgrimage, the Great Chinese Pilgrimage is what we'll call it. These missionaries are still running around the entire world, so that's pretty incredible. But the Congo, yeah, the Congo are still really well. They have not taken back Madagascar. That would be really, really fun, though, if Movember declared a naval war to take back the Madagascar island, which is interesting, because the Congo, the biggest threat, I think, to maybe a Congo win here, depending on what you guys think, and of course we're going to do like a votes for it, so you guys will get to decide, but I mean, it's the Aztecs. And I think that, it would be kind of a small victory, but I think in the eyes of a lot of you guys who will end up voting, I think that will be a very big deal if we see the Congo ever invade and take over this Aztec city. Even though it's pretty far away, and it is obviously heavily sided, it's a heavily, you would think that the Congo should win a siege like that. Whoa, tons and tons of conquistadors moving around Africa here to probably come in. Whoa, I didn't do that. I don't want this. I don't want this camera. Don't do it to me. There we go. I don't know. Sometimes that just turns on for some reason. Anyways, yeah, they have been kind of supporting what is going on. India's declared war on China. Wow. Yeah, I need to read those notifications. There's not as many notifications as before. Please don't. Yes, auto camera false. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. And here they go. So we have a modern day infantry unit, and then a night corps and a regular knight leading the charge. Hey, throw out some elephants in it. I know it's like the modern era, but you might as well try a little bit. So China did not have any success. I mean, they took a small chunk, a small bite out of the Korean wall, but they did not take over Korea. They didn't end up doing that. And but here's the thing. I mean, China still has that very kind of mean city to have settled on Japanese mainland. So I don't know how much that has angered the rest of everybody else. Any sort of colonization? America still hasn't settled a city, or did they? Oh, they settled Charleston. That is a weird one. Right here in Indochina. Maybe, what is this, Thailand? Around Thailand, Malaysia? That's interesting, and they're gonna settle another one very soon. We've got Brazil that made it over towards New Guinea. Papua New Guinea, pretty much, that island. No one's still in New Zealand, though. That's disappointing. And so, no one in Hawaii. China, go after Hawaii, please. Please, can you go after Hawaii? That would be, I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyways, let's check on Central Europe. We still have tons and tons of units from Scythia. And especially, I mean, here's the thing. This might not look like, it depends on the difficulty that you play at. So if you're playing at Prince, I mean, if you're playing on Deity, this might not look like that many units. But because Tamiris is playing on Prince, this is a ton of units. And I know that they're maybe technologically behind a little bit, but that's still a ton of units to have to fight towards if you're a human player playing on, the default difficulty. So that's kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy. Poland has kind of stopped with their settling. I don't think that they can go forward anymore because there's just snow, and China and Scythia have kind of cut off Poland. But hey, Poland, I got to give it to them. They're still surviving. Oh my gosh, they've been so pillaged, though. They still haven't really recovered from that war about, what was that, like 30 turns ago? Whenever we ended the last video, they still have yet to recover from it. So that's kind of sad. That would have been interesting. Are you pillaged too, or is that harbor pillaged? I think it looks like it. Germany hasn't gotten that up. Was Germany involved in a war or something? No, it doesn't really look like it. Look at these weird borders here. How did they manage to do that? That's strange. I'm guessing because there's nowhere else for them to expand their borders here in Central Europe. They just started doing some funky stuff. To say the least, there's been some funky stuff. I guess, you know, Frederick could launch maybe an invasion on France. That's totally possible. Haven't really considered that. Okay, so I kind of got a little bit distracted. I don't even know where and what I've just... Oh, look at this. So Egypt and Arabia are at war. This could be really helpful. Again, this is going to be so painful because Egypt is probably not going to attack, are they? They could literally walk into those cities. They have infantry units, the strongest melee units in the game, behind like mechanized infantry, surrounding a city with only 44 defense. That is going to be painful if they don't end up taking that city. I don't even want to watch it because it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt my soul so bad. Oh, and there's a little bit of barbarian. So Arabia is apparently not doing so well. The kind of Middle Eastern wars that have taken place throughout this game, I feel like Arabia and Egypt have always been in some sort of conflict, is finally starting to switch. Remember, there was that point where Arabia almost grabbed the Egyptian capital, and then they done goofed, and it was pretty big deal. I'm surprised that Zanzibar is still alive. I do think that, wasn't there a time when the Congo were going after Zanzibar? They just barely survived because of the mountain range, though. That was a little bit of a different scenario. Jeez, you gotta calm down. China needs to calm down. So, are they winning the religious game? Have we checked on that? Protestantism seems to dominate. Wait, so China is what? They're definitely not Protestant. They're Tao. Interesting. Tao or Dao, apparently, from what I've learned from you guys. It's actually Protestantism that's... And Eastern Orthodox is a little bit over here. I can't get those two confused because they obviously look very similar in their icons. I believe Rome is the founder of Protestantism, right? I'm not actually entirely sure, but anyways, Norway's gonna go after a new city. Japan has declared war on America. There you go. Brazil's declared war on Japan. Wow, how did that happen? Was there some sort of defensive pact? Are the AIs finally using defensive pacts now, or was there an alliance? There might have been an alliance that we didn't see. Now, here's something that I'd like to check in on more in future AI-only battles. Again, this is my first AI-only battle in Civ 6, so I, kind of still learning my own process here as a creator, how I'm going to do these videos, because I got the civilization ones down pretty well. One thing I'd like to check in more on is actually looking at the icons and looking at... Oh, is this everybody? Oh, yeah, there's a little scroll bar. That's really cool. So, yeah, we can actually see... This way, we can see exactly who's at war with who. We can actually also see what's going on. They did have a defensive pact, and I'm viewing as Brazil, so I believe that is showing me, yeah, so we're allied, because I see this stuff. Oh, it's still processing in the background. That's amazing. Can I seriously sit here? That's incredible. Anyways, yeah, so there was a defensive pact. The AIs do, in fact, use defensive pacts. That's a really nice, good change to see. That's why Brazil decided to join in against Japan. I don't know how much they're really going to be able to do here at war with Japan. We also have Brazil allied to Cleopatra, who's doing pretty well, and that is it. Brazil at war with Saladin also. I always call him Haran. I still call him Haran. Anyways, let's get out of this. That's still very cool that we get to see that. All right, so Brazil, are you going to come to the aid of your friend? I don't really think you can right now. Although the Aztecs are really open to an invasion, that you can possibly get this city back. Maybe you lost this city. It was a while ago, like 50 turns ago, but you could maybe get it back. We'll see. Boom, 4 Aztec cities on the Australian continent. And is America going to settle here? It looks like they will. Okay, so let's not forget about the Chinese-Indian War. Don't know if anything is going to result from this, but again, these are some... I mean, these two are both like ahead in technology. So that's one thing. You got to consider who has infantry units. All the civs that don't have infantry units out right now, you have to kind of disregard them from the votes, because they will not have... They did not do that well, apparently, in terms of at least technology, which is a big factor. It's a very, very, very big factor, I think. So something kind of to keep in mind. They're trying to hold them back, but if the Chinese keep pushing forward with all of these units... They could have success, although we saw this happen before. These two cities, it's hard because the AI will get distracted. as well as a lot of jungle. There's a nice river. There's an encampment that's going to defend Gandhi from kind of a Chinese invasion. So that's going to be a tough one either way. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out. Sumeria not doing too well. If I'm considering our rule of thumb that if you don't have infantry units right now, you're not doing that well on the scope of things. Poland having a few barbarians that have spawned up. We've got Russia with Cossacks. These are, whoa, I never realized how populated Russia is. Look at this. 11, 19, 20 population. That is among the best. I know that, yeah, you know what? Poland got caught. Remember when Poland was like the top population city? They haven't really rebuilt their tiles, which is part of the problem. 21 here for the German capital. I know this doesn't necessarily mean all that much, but I still like to see kind of what is the biggest city. This is a really nice little commercial hub, isn't it? That they have got built. That's awesome. I like that. Spain has been colonizing Africa and then using their military to support those and reinforce those settlements. But they're really open to an attack. If Vicky tries something here, she could have some luck. I mean, there's a handful of defenders that could watch over Madrid, but it still wouldn't be. It still could go to Vicky if she really sends a lot of reinforcements. Look at all these Norwegian troops. Maybe Norway's going to try to launch something against America. Possibly. That could be something. Japan is going to settle here, I think, in northern Canada. That's what it's looking like. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Aztecs have tanks. The Aztecs do have tanks. So do the Aztecs like... I'm going to check that right now. So what does Montezuma feel about America? So he doesn't... Okay, so nobody likes Montezuma. Nobody likes him at all. He doesn't have any friends. He has been denounced, or he has denounced every single AI in the game, which is kind of crazy. Wait a second. How many AIs are in this game? There's 17, 18? 18. Someone was destroyed then, right? I thought we started with 20. I don't know. That could be crack. That could definitely be crack. But anyways, cool. That's good to know for the Aztecs. I haven't really... Yeah. Anyways, okay. So, that's very interesting. Look at the Caribbean. Still completely open to colonization. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so Spain has all these troops down here. It might be to launch something against Egypt. Egypt did take it over. Yay. Yay. I'm so happy. Okay, that restores a little bit of faith back into... Because that was like the most one-side... They could have probably taken that city with 2 infantry units alone. But either way. See, okay, so this mod really needs to show a notification when a city gets taken. And I know what you guys are going to say in the comment section. You're going to be like, Drew, you don't even read the notifications. Touche. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm just saying, in general, if you have maybe some smarter people that are doing their own autoplays and watch over the notification bar, it'd be really useful. So I don't know. This mod definitely needs to show when cities get taken, if they're showing when cities get colonized. Anyways, yeah. So that is the point that I'm going to make there. I can't click on city states, right? No, I can't click on city states. Okay. Well, I was just wondering about that. Japan is kind of a little bit prepared for maybe a Congolese invasion with that encampment. That's smart. That's kind of smart of them. And oh my goodness, I didn't think that anyone would settle the South Pole, but I guess so. Brazil, there is definitely an arms race between the Aztecs, Brazil, maybe Japan. I mean, America's still trying. There's a race though. Definitely between the Aztecs and Brazil. There's kind of imperialism going on in this world between those two. Norway, technically being among them, but Norway's very peaceful, and I don't think they're that big of a threat. I mean, well, they settled there. That was kind of a smart choice for the most part. But, yeah, this final vote is going to be interesting, which we're still, maybe 2 or 3 videos away from the final vote. But it's going to be interesting because there have been civs that do make a pretty good case for, being number 1, I guess I could say. Maybe not number 1, but at least being included in the vote. I don't like to include everybody in the vote because then the vote gets skewed a little bit. So Arabia has made peace with Egypt, and they kept, there you go. So Egypt has kept Aleppo, which they desperately needed. We don't know if there is, so yeah, we see as Brazil, so that's why we're seeing open borders with them. We can't, say the same that Rome has open borders with Egypt. We're just not sure. There's no way of telling. You've got to connect your borders over here somehow, dude. You got to connect it. You got to figure it out, man. Everything doing fine right here? Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I'm surprised that Mecca didn't get taken. That would have been really, really good if Cleopatra was somehow able to take Mecca, but it looks like not. It looks like not. Yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna happen. Look at all this. What is this? This is Mongolia. I mean, what, like maybe a little chunk of eastern Kazakhstan? This region here. This is all kind of like Western Chinese territory, right? Modern day Western Chinese territory. Anyways, it just wasn't settled at all. This is really, really bad land, actually, now that I think about it. I mean, you got snow and, tundra and just a desert. Like, that's like worst of the worst. But if people were willing to settle the South Pole and Antarctica, and look, India's gonna go for it too. Look at that. Wow. Then yeah, then you would think that they would settle right there in the middle of Asia, but I guess not. We'll be fast forwarding to turn 400 in the next video, so things are going to get really intense. I think we're going to see a lot of those kind of medium tier civs catch up to some of the more advanced people like the Kongo, the Aztecs, Japan, everyone in the New World practically, and we could still see some interesting wars depending on some of the civs that haven't caught up in terms of technology. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.